Hello everyone, welcome back to Tinateach Python. This is our first lesson, the first part actually of learning about tuples and what they are. We'll be looking at what is the definition of tuples, its syntax, as well as properties. Let's work on the definition and the syntax first. Okay, so as you can see, tuple has a very similar structure to list. To be honest, the only thing different about tuple and list, syntax-wise, just looking at it, is the parentheses over here, okay? We have the same double quotes, the comma, item 1, 2, and 3. Now let's look at some properties of tuples. First off are the items, okay? Items are ordered. What do I mean by this? Well, they follow the index. The index start at 0, 1, 2, 3, so on and so forth. So that's what I mean by tuples is tuples are ordered. Next up, it is unchangeable. Okay, it is unchangeable. That means that once you create a variable that is a tuple, you cannot change the variable itself. You can certainly duplicate it, you can certainly copy it, and you can change that copy or that replica, but you cannot change the original, okay? And it allows for duplicates, duplicates items, okay? So you can have items that have the same value repeated in a tuple, but because it is ordered, Python has no issue with that. It can identify same values just fine using the index alone. Next up, the tuple is ordered, okay? So we're going through these one by one to get a clearer view. Ordered as in a defined order that will not change. So item 1 has the index of 0, item 2 has the index of 1, and item 3 has the index of 2. And it cannot be changed. That's just how it is once you create the tuple. Now I want to mention another interesting thing about tuple is its pronunciation. You can spell it as tuple or tuple. Both are correct because people do use both. It's interchangeable. Okay, let's look at the next two properties. Unchangeable. You cannot change, add, or remove items after the tuple has been created. Okay, no changing, no removing, no adding of the original variable, but as I've mentioned before, you obviously can duplicate it, replicate it, and you work with that. And it allows for duplicates, okay? Items with the same value are permitted. Now, we'll be looking at the length method that we can apply to a lot of things. List, we can apply to strings, any data sets. And since tuple are one of the 4 built-in data sets, you obviously can apply the length method to it, and it'll return you the length. What do you think the length of tuple number 1 is? It is 4, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, with one item creation, sometimes, you don't really know, or you want the user to input the rest of the tuple. So you work with one item, okay? Tuple, choose one item. But there's a difference between this, and that is the comma. The comma is very important. It basically tells Python, hey, this is a tuple, okay? If you don't include the comma, Python would just take this as a singular string in a variable. Now, last but not least, with the data types, tuple can basically store anything that you can store in a data set. You can store strings, integers, and Boolean values, as well as floats and whatnot. Let's create tuple number 1 with the value of juice, coffee, lemonade, and water. Now I'm going to print the length of tuple 1 as well as print the type of tuple 1. Next up, let's have tuple number 2. And for tuple number 2, I'm just going to have cars. And I'm going to print the type of this variable. Well, it's not really a tuple, isn't it? We're missing the comma. But we want to know, what Python thinks. Tuple number 3. Science, the same as tuple number 2, but this time we have the comma. And print the type of tuple 3. Okay, now I want to show you one of the property of the tuple that I've mentioned being unchangeable. Well, it's a rather nuanced aspect. So I'm gonna try and assign tuple number 3 different values. Okay, science, physics, and chemistry. Then I'm gonna print tuple 3. Then print tuple 1, concatenate it with tuple 3. They are both the same type, so no problem with concatenation. And let's see how it runs. Okay, everything's perfectly fine. The length of tuple 1 is 4, and it is tuple. Okay, class is tuple. However, with tuple number 2, this variable, it is classified as a string. And tuple number 3 is indeed a tuple with the help of a comma. Now you can change the value by, reassigning tuple number 3. Science, physics, and chemistry. Okay, no error there. And you can absolutely concatenate tuple number 1 with tuple number 3. Now, what if I'm going to use different methods that, the append method, the pop method, the slice method on tuple number 3. Pop, and let's see, append, right? Append. Let's append biology. Let's run it. See, tuple object has no attribute for pop. It doesn't work. You can't change it. Okay, this is what I mean by unchangeable. You cannot use methods to change the items, but if you want to reassign like I've done here, absolutely. So that's it for tuple part 1. Tuple part 2 is coming up next. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Learn today, better tomorrow. Bye.